Hello dear students, welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we will talk about two very important things. One from our culture and one from our environment. Okay? So let's begin our journey. Students, today is Dashera. Okay, Dashera is one of India's most celebrated festivals, and it marks the victory of Lord Ram over Ravan, the demon king of Lanka. Now, this story comes from the Ramayana, and we know that Ravan was very powerful, but he misused his strength and kidnapped Sita, right? Then we know that finally, when Lord Ram killed Ravan with a powerful arrow, and that day became known as Vijay Dashmi or Dashehra, meaning the day of victory. But what does this story teach us? It's not just about one man defeating another. It is about good defeating evil, truth defeating lies, and discipline defeating distractions. Okay. So what we as a student, what we can learn? If you're preparing for exams, distractions may be like Ravan. If you follow discipline, like making a timetable and focusing on your work, you can defeat that distraction. Okay. Similarly, if you are playing sports, so dishonesty or shortcuts, they may seem tempting, but the victory that comes from truth and fair play is what really lasts. So that's why every year huge effigies of Ravan are burned during Dashera to remind us that arrogance, greed and lies may look strong, okay, but in the end truth always wins. Okay. So that is all about Dashera. Student, now there are some real problems that we face today. And one of them is deforestation. Okay, the cutting down of forest. Now, this greed is causing serious damage to nature. It is, of course, you can take it as a monster, okay, as an evil, which is basically harming our planet. Okay, so you can relate that with Dashera. Now, to understand this better, let us now travel far away to the Amazon rainforest, which is sometimes called the lungs of the earth. Okay, Amazon forest, they are called lungs of the earth. Remember this statement. Lungs of the earth. Okay, so Amazon forest, it is the largest rainforest in the world. Okay, and basically it's spread across 9 countries in South America, right? तो 9 countries है. कौन से countries है देखो यहाँ पे इनके name भी mentioned है. Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, right? Now this rainforest is home to millions of species of plants, animals, and indigenous tribes. And it also absorbs a huge amount of carbon dioxide, which basically, helps in slowing down global warming. But scientists are warning us that the Amazon is in great danger. Why? Why is it in great danger? See, there are something called, here it is written, flying rivers. So imagine a giant invisible pump above the rainforest. Pump, okay, sort of pump. Now, moist air from the Atlantic Ocean, okay, moist air from the Atlantic Ocean is carried inward by winds. Okay, so यहाँ पे जो moist air है, यहाँ पे जो moist air is present over Atlantic Ocean, it is carried inside by winds. And trees in the Amazon, it absorb this water, okay? It absorb this water and release it back as vapor, okay? They release it back as vapor. And this then travel thousands of kilometers like an aerial river. मतलब जो ट्रीज ने एब्जॉर्ब किया वाटर और फिर उसको बाद में वेपर की तरह रिलीज किया, तो ये जो रिलीज करते हैं ना, ये एक तरीके से आप ये कह लो, ये वेपर की रिवर है हवा में, इन एयर. And this water vapor, okay, which is sort of like a river, it falls as rain across, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, and even up to the Indus Mountains. So this system is so important that scientists call it flying rivers. Okay? That scientists call it flying rivers. मतलब flying rivers क्या है? वो basically water vapor है air में, बहुत सारा. ठीक है? Water vapor है air में बहुत सारा. और यही water vapor की वजह से पेरू, बोलिविया में बारिश होती है. तो ये इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है सिस्टम कि इसको साइंटिस्ट ने नाम दिया है फ्लाइंग रिवर्स का. नाउ व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? द प्रॉब्लम इज डिफॉरेस्टेशन. Cutting, basically people are cutting trees for farming, mining, logging, and it is breaking this pump, because if there are less trees, then less water vapor goes back into the air. So this means there will be less rainfall and there will be more droughts and dried up rivers. So this newspaper article explains that Peru, Bolivia, and southern Brazil are especially at risk. Okay, so crops are drying, hydroelectric dams cannot work properly, है ना? अगर बारिश नहीं होगी तो पानी नहीं होगा, पानी नहीं होगा तो hydroelectricity कैसे होगी? Okay, so scientists want that if deforestation continues, Amazon could reach a tipping point. Okay, जहाँ पे रेन फॉरेस्ट ग्रासलैंड में बन जाएंगे, बहुत कम ट्रीज रह जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो उससे बहुत ज्यादा इश्यू होगा, क्योंकि अमेज़न क्या है? लंग्स है, हमारी अर्थ के लंग्स हैं. लंग्स में कोई दिक्कत आएगी तो आपको लगता नहीं कि अर्थ में, पूरे अर्थ में दिक्कत आएगी? यस, देयर विल बी अ प्रॉब्लम. नाउ यू मे आस्क दैट अमेज़न इज फार अवे, व्हाई शुड इट मैटर टू अस? लाइक आई सेड अर्लियर, अभी जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, अमेज़न क्या है? हमारे लंग्स हैं, हमारी अर्थ के लंग्स हैं. ओके, अमेज़न स्टोर्स अ ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. So if it is destroyed, this gas will enter the atmosphere and it will worsen global warming everywhere, including in India. ठीक है, और जो वेदर पैटर्न है, ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया का क्लाइमेट अलग है तो फिर वेदर पैटर्न कनेक्टेड नहीं है. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. वेदर पैटर्न्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड आर इंटरकनेक्टेड. सो इफ रेन्स fail in South America, it can also disturb monsoons in Asia. So protecting the Amazon is not just South America's duty, it is the world's responsibility. ठीक है, तो क्या किया जा सकता है? वही, सबको सोल्यूशन सबको पता है, लेकिन वही है कि विलिंगनेस चाहिए. स्टॉपिंग डिफॉरेस्टेशन, रिस्टोरिंग फॉरेस्ट, प्रोटेक्टिंग इंडिजिनस राइट्स. क्योंकि जो लोकल कम्युनिटीज होती है ना, ट्राइबल लोग होते हैं, वो नेचर के साथ कोलैबोरेशन में रहते हैं, राइट? उनके बेस्ट प्रोटेक्टर्स होते हैं. ग्लोबल कोऑपरेशन इज नीडेड, एंड स्टूडेंट्स like you can contribute by raising awareness, using less paper and plastic, supporting tree plantation drives. Okay, so that will be all for today, students. Thank you for listening to this, and remember, every small action counts. Festivals like Dashera remind us to stay strong against distractions and wrong choices in life. Okay, and environmental lessons, it reminds us to stay strong against greed and destruction, because together, let's keep truth alive in our lives. Okay, so stay curious, stay disciplined. Bye bye.